Hey everybody, Coach Warda here. Welcome back to my channel. Tonight's video is going to be about relationships between female teammates. So girls on swimming between probably 12 and 18 is probably the target area that I'll be talking about tonight, but I'm going to give you a couple of lessons in how to approach those relationships and where that starts, which is within you, and how you are to deal with some of the challenges of having relationships with other girls, because it's not easy sometimes. And so we're going to go through that tonight. So hang tight and we'll start with lesson number 1. Lesson number 1 is faith is your foundation. And it certainly is for me. That's what's so great about having your own YouTube channel, is that you can talk about whatever you want. And I am all in with God, Jesus, and Mary and my faith. And I teach my children that you're not alone. You're always surrounded by them. So even when I'm not with you or Daddy's not with you, that you're always with God. He's always with you with his arms around you and a hand out for you. And what he wants us to do is to be the best version of ourselves each and every day, or at least we need to try to. So, having that foundation of trying to be your best self every day, and be Christ-like. I mean, he really wants us to be as giving and merciful as his only son was. I think that's something you've got to remember and to be cognizant of every day. It's one thing, I think, to believe. It's another thing to practice your faith. So practicing your faith is not easy. It's every day. And I think when you get away from that is when you do get into some trouble with, being mean or, being hurtful and not remembering really what God wants you to be doing in that situation, which is being kind and showing grace and, being open and being nice, basically. I mean, you want to be your best version of yourself, and that is nice. Even when someone's being, totally mean to you, you've got to be forgiving. And I talk about other lessons about, being courageous with communication, and we'll talk about that too, but it really, really does start with your faith and your faith in God. Now, if you don't have faith and your family doesn't go to church, I would advise you to be a little curious, because he's still there for you. He's there for all of us, and he's always very patient and will wait for your curiosity and seeking him, because he's always there for you. So lesson number 1 is faith is your foundation. So lesson number 2 is to love yourself. And there's no greater gift that you can give to God than loving what he has created, which is you. And not everybody is the same. Everybody's very unique and different. So I would advise you to really look inside yourself and find things that are unique about you, that make you different and make you you. I don't want anyone to change or feel like they have to change to fit into a group or a clique of girls. I don't think that's fair, and you shouldn't have to. They should love you and like you for you and what you can bring to a group and to a team. Everybody's got unique qualities, and I think you've got to love that about yourself and show that you love that about yourself for other people to love it too. And if they don't, it's okay. There are plenty of people that don't love everything about me, and that is okay. And you know why? It's because I love myself and I love what God created in me, and I really try to be the best version of myself every day. And that's not always going to work. I'm going to be a turkey sometimes, and and God forgives me for that. And I ask for his forgiveness, but always try to be the best version of yourself every day, and being kind to others, but especially be kind to yourself. So lesson number 2 is love yourself. Okay, lesson number 3 is have the courage to communicate. So this is very important, especially with all relationships, but especially this day and age, because you can get your feelings hurt pretty easily, especially as a girl. That's one of the unique things about being a girl, is that you get to go through puberty, and when you start that process, there's so many emotions, and you're very sensitive, and that doesn't go away, but it does ease up when you get a little bit older. But especially during your teenage years, I mean, you're going to be crying one minute, furious the next, moody, sad, you name it, that's what's going to happen. It's just a part of being a girl and growing up. So there are going to be times where you do make someone mad, or someone does hurt your feelings, and they may not even know it. So my lesson and courage to communicate is really to tell the person. So if someone hurt your feelings and they don't know, and then you end up really not liking them, but they don't even know. And so I think talking about it, in this day and age with texting, and people can say some really nasty things on social media and hide behind their device, which I think is totally just cowardly. And people, when you get older, and they still do it there too, but when you get into your job and things like that, people expect you to communicate verbally. That's where it means the most. And when you write it in a text, those things can really hurt. Words spoken can be good or bad. Words written that are bad hurt for a long time. So learn to communicate with your friends and your girlfriends on the team. So when you do have conflict, you come to resolution quickly. I think when you let it sit out there for a long time, it never gets resolved, or just kind of water under the bridge and just keeps bubbling up, and then it'll erupt. It's better just to confront it. And if you're really good friends with someone, or if you're kind of good friends, and this will actually help your friendship to communicate. So have the courage to actually talk to someone about your feelings, and if something's hurting you, so you can resolve it and move past it. Okay, so lesson number 4 is being open to forgiveness and being merciful. So especially with girls on swim teams, you're going to be competitive. People are going to bother you. It's hard sport to be good friends on, because you're competing against each other all the time. I think that's really difficult, and especially going through a time in your life that's just hard in general. It's just not an easy time in life, and I think a lot of people understand that. But if somebody just totally, is rude to you, and just forgive. That's the best advice I can give to you, is that a lot of people have bad days, and some people lash out. There are lots of reasons why they do. It's not because of you. Sometimes it is, but most of the time it's something else going on in their life that they act that way. And learning to forgive is huge, and extending grace to somebody. So people are going to have a bad day. You're going to have a bad day, and forgiving them is important. And I think that when you're finding that a group of people, or a clique of girls, which is again very, very difficult, just isn't letting you in. And I ran into that when I was in middle school and high school, that I just could not fit in. They had been friends forever and ever, and I just didn't fit in with them. And I found my group of friends that that I still have today, and those relationships are super important. Female relationships, girlfriends, are so key, and especially on a girl swim team, or when you're going to college on a girls team, having those strong bonds is super important. So having conflicts on teams just is not good, and it's just not positive. So finding a group of friends that you do connect with is important, and it may not be the ones that you think you want to hang out with. You'll find the group that is the best fit for you. So just be patient. And in the meantime, I think some good advice about being merciful. So taking it off of you, take the focus off of you and feeling sorry for yourself. Self-pity God does not look kindly on that. So take the focus off of you and try to find somebody in need, whether that's a younger swimmer who may need some help and mentorship, or someone that you just see that looks sad or needs a friend. And that way, you giving of yourself will come back to you 100-fold, and you'll stop feeling so sorry for yourself and down because you're giving of yourself. And that's the most wonderful gift that you can give, is of your service of yourself to others, because your giving is, you get back 10 times more than what you give. And it really does bring just absolute joy. Lesson number 5 is to let it go. That's it. So when, things get a little bit crazy and some things are said that are mean and you forgive, it's time to let go of it. Forgive and let it go. Don't hang on to it forever, because all that's going to do is eat away at you and make you in a bad mood. So let it go. Don't hang on to those negative feelings. Let it go. Move on. Okay, the final thing that we're going to talk about tonight is lesson number 6, which is that words matter. Spoken word, written word, what you communicate to other people is very, very important. And as my sister told me the other day, that words are weighted. What you say matters. So, and this goes right in line with walking with Christ and practicing your faith. Think before you say something rude. Think before you write something mean or hateful. It is so hard to take those things back, and you can hurt somebody. You can wound somebody with your words. And when you write something down that they can look at again and again and again, it's just very damaging and something that God would not want you to do. So when you're thinking that way, you're far from Christ at that moment in time. So just take a step back, take a deep breath. If you're very angry and emotional, it's not a good time to be talking to somebody or to be writing something down. So take a deep breath. Think, what would Jesus want me to do right now? And it is not send that text. It is not send that email. And it is not to speak to the person that you're mad at, because it will pass. But if you say something or text something that's rude, it's very, very hard to undo. So just get that foundation, get your footing back before you hurt someone's feelings. So in summary, really it's about being a good person, being your best version of yourself each and every day. That's how you're going to get along with all the girls on your team. Whether someone's going through a bad day or just going through some things at home that you don't know about, they're going to act a certain way. They may not always be nice. And this is the fact of life. So I think you've just got to be the best version of yourself every day. Extend forgiveness when you need to. Have the courage to communicate to someone that's hurt your feelings, because they may not know that. And it might be a good opportunity for them to recognize that they're not being nice, and to regain their footing too. Always have your faith in line with what your actions are. Again, with having the courage to communicate is very important, and being merciful. Always looking for somebody that needs help or is looking for love and care and friendship, because so many times we start thinking about ourselves just a little too much, and God doesn't want us doing that. He wants us to love ourselves, and once we can love ourselves, we can show that love to others, and you'll be surprised how well you get along with other people, and how much joy you can bring into your own life by giving of yourself. So thanks for watching. If you like this content and you would like to see more, please subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell to see when I'm going to load more content. Again, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.